Hello everyone and welcome back to Copsupply. In this video I'm going to be giving you an overview for TohruAIO. We're going to jump straight into it. I'm going to begin at the purchase tab, but quickly before I do that I'm going to explain the functionality of the application. So you have the Tohru logo in the center of the application. You have the close down button, which is the red button, and also the minimize button, which is the grey button there. You have no option to put it in full screen, and at the bottom left you have your Discord username and the current version of the bot, and then along the bottom it says bot authenticated, and it's on green. It shows your local computer time and also copyright TohruAIO 2020. So we're going to begin at the purchase tab. This is where all your successful checkouts from the task section goes into, and you can see that there's the item, size, price and date. Pretty self-explanatory. Moving to the settings tab, we have settings general. So we have the bot key, which I've gone ahead and blurred out, but as you can clearly tell there is a bot key there. Then you can put in your guap API key as well as your webhook test, so you can go ahead and send a test if you wish. And also you have the check for updates button if you want to check the bot for updates. And then once you make any changes here, make sure to hit save so it saves the changes. Moving to supreme settings, we have monitor delay in milliseconds, we have timeout delay in milliseconds, we also have our restart delay in milliseconds, and then we have our monitor proxies. We have local, and you can go ahead and choose something else as well. You can put in your Discord webhook here as well and hit save once you make changes once again. Moving to Shopify settings, we have the general section, which is for Discord webhook for Shopify checkout, so obviously put that in there. Then for add and remove custom site, you can go ahead and put in anything and add it. So I'm going to name a site here called test. I'm going to call it www.test.com. If I hit add, as you guys can see, if I go to the store drop down, it creates that. So what I can go ahead and do here is delete it by hitting the remove button once I select it from the drop down, which is what I just did. Then for your quick task, you can select your billing profile. There's none at the moment when I hit it, but we will configure one in a second. You can choose the modes and also the checkout proxy as well. Moving to settings of Yeezy, you just have a simple Discord webhook. Obviously hit save once you do that. And then moving to foot sites, you have the restock monitor delay, the timeout in milliseconds, also the retry delay in milliseconds, and the restock monitor proxy, and then as well as the Discord webhook. And then for capture settings, you have your AYCD AutoSub API key, you have your AYCD AutoSub access token, and your tool capture API key. And then you can enable AYCD AutoSub once you put in these two by hitting it on or off. One thing to mention, you can go ahead and import and export settings at any time. So you can go ahead and hit this button, it pops up the file directory, and you can import anything as you wish. Now moving over to the login section, it's pretty simple. You have the login section obviously, and then you have the store on the username, and then you have the create login button at the bottom. Those are associated once you actually have login. So let's go ahead and add one. We're going to hit this. We're going to select the store from a drop down. You have a scroll bar here. Alternatively, you could just go ahead and type it in. As you guys can see, I'm hitting S and it's going through all the S options, but I'm going to stop at sole stop. We're going to say the username is John Doe 1 and the password is 12345, some characters in there. Hit save, and as you guys can see, it shows a store as well as a username. You can go ahead and select it by doing this, and it goes and selects it. If you hit this button, it selects all the accounts and logins, so keep that in mind. Then if you hit this and hit this button, you can go ahead and edit it as you wish and hit save once you're done. You can hit this button to go ahead and duplicate it when you've actually selected something, so as you guys can see, it shows. And if we hit this, you can go ahead and delete something. So if I hit this, it goes ahead and deletes it. Then for the proxy section, it's pretty simple. Once again, we actually have to go ahead and add a proxy group to use these settings up here, but we have a proxy group and proxy counts. We can also import proxies if you wish. Once again, the file directly goes and pops up, and we can also export proxies out of Tohru to somewhere else if you wish as well. But let's click the create proxy group. It says configure your proxy group name, so I'm going to call it video test, and then I can go ahead and put the proxies in here. So I'm going to put a proxy in there. I'm going to blur it out, obviously, hit save, and then as you guys can see, the proxy group is there and the proxy count is there as well. It's important to note that if I want to go ahead and edit it, I hit the select button, hit this button, and it goes in and edits it. I hit save as well. I can go ahead and duplicate it by hitting this. As you guys can see, proxy group video test 1 is created. I can also delete it by doing that and selecting it and hitting that button. Then moving over to the billing profile section, once again we have a similar buttons at the top. Then we have our profile name, card holder, card and locale. And once again we can go ahead and use the import and export functions in relation to billing profiles. However, I'm going to go ahead and create my own profile here. So I'm going to hit create profile. My profile name, I'm going to call it video test, and then you have your phone number, card holder, card number, expiry, CVV and email. Then for billing, we have first name, last name, address 1, address 2, country, city, state and zip, and the exact same thing for shipping. However, if you want to go ahead and do same as billing, then billing will go ahead and duplicate over, and you can also enable one checkout per product if you wish. So as you guys can see, I hit same as billing once there's actually information in the billing section, and I went ahead and duplicated over. So I've pretty much gone ahead and done here. I've filled it in with some test information. Please keep in mind this is called video test, as I will be mentioning this later in the overview. I'm going to go ahead and hit save here, and as you guys can see, the profile has been created. A space indicates by underscore right there. You have the card holder, you have the card, and you have the logo. Now moving over to the capture harvester section, you have the name, sites, Gmail and proxy. We're going to go ahead and start the capture harvester. You can actually configure it. So let's say if I were to call this Supreme, because that's what I intend on doing, then for this you can go ahead and configure a specific one. So if you want this only for Supreme, I can do this. Alternatively, you can make it for everything, but I plan on doing a test task within this overview for Supreme, so we're going to keep it like that. And then you can go ahead and put in your email here, which I'm going to go ahead and do. And then you can put in a harvester proxy if you wish, which is not required. I can hit save, then it says this name is Supreme, site is Supreme, Gmail is that, and the proxy is empty. Then I can go ahead and select it and hit the start button, and as you guys can see, the capture harvester goes and pops up. But once again, it's very similar to the actual application. This is to minimize, this is to close down. Once you have it selected, you can hit this to actually go ahead and sign into the account, and then you can hit this to go ahead and stop it if you are actually using it, and you can hit this to go ahead and delete it. Finally, moving over to the task section, you have tasks, you have the filters. You can actually search for your tasks, then it shows 0 of 0 total, so obviously using the filter will highlight some. And then you have the start, product, size, billing and status. You can also import and export tasks if you wish, and you have some buttons at the top that are associated with your tasks once you actually create one. So for the purpose of this video, I've gone ahead and singled out an item here. I want to go ahead and bought this item. As you guys can see, black and red are in stock. It is the Nalgene bottle, so we're going to keep that in mind on the Supreme website. So we're going to go to create tasks, then we get given the option of foot sites, Shopify, Supreme in-store and easy supply. We're going to go ahead and hit Supreme here. Over here we can configure our profile. We only know that we have a video test available. Alternatively, you can hit all profiles if you wish, but I'm going to use video test. And then we have the keyword. So we know it's a Nalgene bottle, so I'm going to type in Nalgene and that should cover it. I'm going to hit enter. And as you guys can see, that separates the keywords, so there's no need for any commas or anything. Then for color, we all know that the red and black is available. I'm going to go for the black version in this case. And then for the size, you have random, custom, and then a bunch of options here. I'm going to go with random just for this. Then for quantity, you can also change this from 1 to whatever using this little arrows over here, or you can actually type something in. And then for the date, you can go ahead and configure this if you wish. If you wish to actually like set a time based on your local computer time, then go for it. Then for your mode, you have fast and safe. And it's also important to mention, when you go ahead and create different types of tasks, this will look different. However, I'm going ahead and running through a test task for Supreme just so you understand how the base task creation actually works. So you have the mode, then you have the checkout proxy. You can go ahead and use local or the proxy list that we create, or proxy group. And then for checkout delay, we can go and configure this. I'm going to set it to 750 milliseconds. Then your task quantity, it can be 1. I'm going to go ahead and set it as 1 for this. Then you can enable capture bypass. It's not available in the EU, so I'm not going to do that. Pre-harvest capture, so I'm going to leave that alone as well. Restock mode, I'm going to leave that alone as well. But just to show you that it actually works, you can go ahead and hit this and it actually activates the option. But I'm going to go ahead and leave all this except from cardinal bypass. So I'm going to hit save, and then I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this. And as you guys can see, the task has been created. So we have store, Supreme, the product, which is Nalgene in black, the size, which is empty, and the billing, which is video test. And the status is empty because we have yet to do anything. We go ahead and select this task. We have the start task, stop task, edit task, clone task, and delete. So I'll show you clone. You can go ahead and clone it. You can go ahead and delete it as well. You can go ahead and edit it. So if you go ahead and select the task and hit that, the edit Supreme task goes and pops up, but you can go ahead and save it and it'll exit out. Then you also have the stop task and the start. So I think the best way to go ahead and test it is to go ahead and make sure we actually have our capture harvester here. So we're going to go ahead and select it, hit the start button. As you guys can see, it is here. I'm going to try and move this best out of the way here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is scale down the box here so it's easier to see. I'm going to put the capture harvester there. We're going to go to the task page and go ahead and start. So we're going to select our task and go ahead and hit start. And as you guys can see, it's going through everything. Give it a second, awaiting capture. the captcha score isn't the greatest, I actually have to solve it, but as you guys can see, it's picked up the product just fine. Give this a second. It's going to check out the latest retrying and is looping and send the captcha back because the payment information is inaccurate, but as you guys can see, it worked flawlessly. So that concludes the overview of TohruAIO at CopSpot.